everybody, welcome back to a Lazy Sunday podcast. My name is Kay, I am your host here. I am also the dyer behind Lazy Sunday Yarns that can be found over on Etsy. All of my socials and my shop will be linked down below in the description along with anything I mention here today. If by any chance I do forget anything, do let me know in the comments and I will send the link to you directly and then pop it into the description after the fact as well. I'm coming to you from Cornwall, where it is a little bit grey and trying to rain here today. I am wearing my simple summer sweater from Hohi Locatelli. It is starting to get a little bit warmer here in England and it's time to pull this thing out again as it doesn't get to see much didn't get to see much love over the winter because it is a cotton and bamboo yarn using I've forgotten what it's called. It's Stylecraft cotton and bamboo blend yarn and it is gorgeous and drapey and beautiful. I am drinking just bog standard tea today. It's just one of those days we need the caffeine and like a good cup of builder's tea over here today. So grab your drink, grab your knitting or whatever you may have to keep you company and get cozy. Let's get started. It's still a bit hot. So, again, I have lots to share with you this time round. I think it's been a little over 2 weeks since I filmed last. I just didn't have the opportunity to film, but I do have plenty of things to share. An FO for like the 3rd week in a row, which is incredible to me. It might be the 4th week in a row, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that. Got fluff. Don't we always, us knitters, we've always got fluff. I've got a few new shops to me that I'd like to mention, not all yarn related, but we find something we like, we share it, why not? And I've got lots of whips, lots of relatively big whips, so I guess we should just jump into it. Let's start with FOs, shall we? Let's start with FOs, shall we? This is something you have already seen. I had finished one after I saw you last and I think started the other. These are now washed and blocked and finished. They are my Sunday socks by Petite Knits. I was inspired to cast these on by Fibre for the People, Wool Needles Hands, her podcast. She knit a pair and I think she might have cast on a second pair immediately after because she enjoyed knitting them so much and I totally understand why. They are an Aran weight sock, or at least I used Aran weight wool to knit them and they came out to gauge, so whether that was my gauge or not I don't know. But they just work up so quickly and they're so slouchy. If you saw my previous podcast, you will know my previous episode of the podcast, which should be linked somewhere in the corner up here. I think over here. It's usually over here, I think. Anyway, these are a gift. I was trying to make a pair of brioche slippers for a gift for my sister-in-law, and me and brioche have inevitably not got on again because I just need to sit down and focus on something like a bit more plain, I think, with a bit less shaping. So instead, because I didn't want the recipient of the gift to wait for so long, I made these instead. I have made them using the same yarn. I have made them using the same yarn I used for my Felix cardigan, and the two together, if you follow me on Instagram you will have seen the matching set, and I'm legitimately heartbroken that I have to send these away and I can't just wear them as a cosy slouchy set together. because it was like ultimate lazy Sunday vibes. So I think I do have some of this wool left over. It is this grey sort of jazz net colourway in the Stylecraft, 400-gram balls of wool of Aran wool with wool in there as well, acrylic and wool, and I broke, basically for my cardigan, I've mentioned this before, for my cardigan I broke into a second 400-gram ball for like the button band, so I've got lots and lots of it left, so I might have to make another pair for myself. We'll see. I'm not usually one to knit the same project again though. I get really bored the second time around, so that's probably not going to happen either. I might make some Aran socks with that wool, but it probably won't be the same pattern. So that's FOs. I guess let's move on to whips now then. I have somehow... No, we've got a half object first. Pause that thought, let's do the half object. So, this is being held in my sort of hot chocolate bag from Embroidered Elephant. It is a lovely bag. She has offered very kindly to donate a bag for my Lazy Sunday, my Lazy Stash Buster cowl, which will be mentioned later. So that will, I haven't received it yet, but that is on the way, and I'll be able to show that off to you next episode with any luck. But whoever wins her bag is very lucky, because her bags are very nice. They're very soft, but durable, and like this is I've got two balls of wool in here, so it's good, like good decent sized project bag. This is holding my self-striping Votes for Women socks, my suffragette themed socks. So when you saw it last, I was on this sort of green stripe here. I hadn't added the heel. I have since added an afterthought heel and a toe. Well, and finished the whole sock. It is not blocked yet because I tend to block them in pairs. You can see some being blocked here. I unfortunately don't have any blockers to spare, but you can see it's just there was no pattern followed, just I think a 3x1 rib, so a three knit purl one. So welcome to whips. I'm in a very shameful place when it comes to whips, because I am very strict usually with the amount of projects I have on my needles. Not in the sense of like, sometimes I put a project away and it's dormant for a little bit, and I know when I start the project that will happen at some point, like a blanket or larger projects like that. They tend to just like sit for a while, and then I work on them bit by bit. And that's fine, and I know my process works that way with that. However, I tend to have an accessory, like a hat, shawl, something like that on, a pair of socks and a sweater, and those are like the things that I tend to work. Usually that is my system. I sometimes have 2 sweaters or 2 accessories or 2 pairs of socks, because I will have a home and a work. I tend to have a work project that stays at work, that doesn't come home with me, so I'm not lugging it back and forth constantly, and that tends to be sort of Stylecraft, Aran, Stylecraft sort of acrylic based projects, because those are the wools that we sell at work, so sell the product while you're there, right? So at most usually I probably have like 3, maybe 4 if I'm working, which obviously we've been in lockdown, haven't been, projects on the go at one time in rotation. However, something about this last lockdown we've been going through, hopefully the last lockdown we'll go through, fingers crossed we've got it right this time, as just, I haven't been down, but something like that, my the too much gene kicked in, and the willpower just completely turned off. I have been casting on like nobody's business. It is ridiculous. And that has resulted in me having not one, not two, not three, but 4 sweaters on my needles in one go, all in rotation. How has this happened? How have I done this? I am working on all of them pretty consistently, so that's fine, and I'm not feeling guilty about it. I am just sort of like not entirely sure how I got here, but we're here, so insanity won this time. Apparently. So I think all of the jumpers you have seen already. Mingalot, I'm sorry. You have seen all of them already, but we'll just go into it. Some of them were dormant for specific reasons, and I think they've come out, and that's how I've got here. Let's just go into it. The first one, because it's the first one I've grabbed, is my Zweig. Now, this project I had to rip back because I messed up the placing of the short row shaping. And I think the last time you saw it, I was just after where I had fixed that mistake, just where that little toilet roll progress keeper is there, where from that progress keeper is from Corner of Craft, by the way. I'm sure you, if you have watched me before or just are in the knitting community in general, I'm sure you've probably heard that name at least once before. Anyway, I love her stitch markers. It is no secret that I love her stitch markers. I have since, because I didn't show this to you last time, so I've done quite a bit on it, I have since knit past the arms, separated for the sleeves, and I've done quite a good amount on the body. Now, I'm supposed to do quite a good amount more, however, my intention for this, I think, is to knit it for my dresses and sort of maybe some of my high-waisted trousers. Another thing I've lost my willpower with recently is shopping for clothes, and I know exactly why I've been doing that. Is because it is no secret, I'm a plus size girl. I have a bigger frame than most to clothe, and up until recently, the reason I was drawn to knitting and textiles and things, one of the many reasons, is because I could make clothes to fit my body the way they should fit my body, because in high street, more often than not, that is not an option for me. I'm usually forced to wear leggings, stretchy jeans, a t-shirt, and like an oversized cardi if I'm shopping from the high street, which in regards to sustainability, which is a whole different topic entirely, but even then, shopping sustainably as a plus-sized woman is next to impossible, so you are then forced to go to places where you don't really want to put your money because they are the only people that stock your size. So in terms of accessibility with sustainability for my body type, it just isn't there. It just wasn't an option. So that being said, in the past like 2 or 3 years, I personally have noticed a massive surge, at least in predominantly in the in my price range, and predominantly on the high street, because the ones that are sustainable that are doing it are way out of my price range, which is totally understandable. It's worth every penny, I just don't have that budget. And all of my clothes are falling apart. So I have recently bought a lot of clothes from companies that I don't really condone, but I didn't really have any other option to shop at. But the product ranges of those shops is really nice to see, are so much better, and it's not just, you can't just take a garment that fits a small or a straight size, whatever that means, different topic entirely, and size it up and expect it to fit a bigger body in the same way, because the proportions change. And up until about even like as little as a year ago, that just didn't happen. So if I bought something in my, that's why I wore skinny jeans and jumpers, because it didn't swamp me, and it was comfortable, and it didn't, you know. So where am I going with this? Anyway, so long story short, I have been able to buy clothes in certain styles that I have been lusting after for so long, I can finally purchase. And that means wearing dresses that I see a lot of my smaller friends wearing and I lust after, and wearing high-waisted sort of billowy trousers that I see a lot of my smaller sized friends wearing and I lust after, and I couldn't get hold of in my budget. However, now I have some clothes like that. So I've been buying clothes because they're available to me now, in the styles that I've always wanted to have, and as a result I now don't have knitwear to match those clothes. So when I started this, that wasn't an option. However, now I'm at a point, and I think pulling it back has allowed me to make this decision, is that I'm going to knit it cropped so I can wear it with my now new nice dresses that fit me and fit my shape and my body the way I want them to fit me. That was a little bit of a rant, sorry, but it's really frustrating when you can't buy the things that you want to buy, and it's Jamila Jamil puts it perfectly when she says, if you're a designer and you can only design for one body type, are you really a good designer? Just sliding that out there. Anyway, so this is my Zweig. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to knit sort of about, I've tried it on and I need probably to get it to where I want, probably about 2 or 3 inches, and then the rib. So not too long to go on that, so maybe when you see it next time I'll at least be on the sleeves. But I make no promises because I have 4 sweaters on the needles. My next project is one I showed you last time. My Maja cardigan. Maja? I'm not wearing my glasses, can you tell? I'm squinting at my screen. Anyway, it's an Icelandic knits cardigan. It is my full colour work sweater, cardigan, and it is my craft resolution, or revolution as I kept saying last time. My craft resolution this year was to knit something steeked. To steek something, so to cut it up the middle. So this is that project for me. So it is one that I've pretty much given myself the year to finish, so there is no rush. However, I'm very much enjoying knitting on it, so it won't take me that long. This is all I have done, she says all. Last time you saw it, I had just finished the colour work, and there is my, again, corner of craft. Stitch progress keeper, stitch marker, whichever, can be used both ways. And since then I have, it's the Bernie mitten, by the way, in case you didn't realise, who didn't love the Bernie mitten craze. That was amazing. Knitwear getting recognised. And I have finished the sleeve and have cast on, just last night, cast on my second sleeve. So I reckon I'll at least have colour work done to show you on my second sleeve next time. But there's not much to report in that. It was just a lot of increases and plain knitting. So enjoyable, but nothing too exciting. My next whip is being held just in an ordinary tote bag. I think this was from Primark a long time ago, and honestly I bought it because I didn't want to buy a plastic bag, and So I ran into Primark to get a cheap one, and it said Capricorn on it. We love a zodiac tote. Oh, my hair is so floofy. I should have brought them downstairs. I didn't. I have finished the sleeves on this. You have seen this garment before. A long time ago. I can still remember. And it was a commission piece that I started before second lockdown last November, and the lockdown came and it just went on hold and languished for ages. However, the person I'm making it for is in absolutely no rush, so there was no worry on that end. But I'm at a point now where I just kind of want to get it done and sent out and tick it off the list, basically. It is the, what is it called? The Main Squeeze cardigan it was in a magazine. Again, everything will be linked below. I purchased the pattern on Ravelry. However, I will link the magazine's website, not the Ravelry link, because of reasons I've gone into in the past. However, on that note, I would like to say that I have been using Ribbler more. If you haven't used that, I highly recommend it. And when I go into my cowl info in a bit, there is something that I'd like to mention with that. So we'll cover that in a minute. So this is my Main Squeeze cardigan. It is a super chunky cardigan, and I'm pretty sure it was a Brooklyn tweed pattern. I'm pretty sure it was knit in Brooklyn tweed to begin with, but don't quote me on that, because it's been a while since I've looked at the project pages and all that jazz. I have finished both sleeves, which were just plain knit sleeves, but I've since started the body of that, and it is this beautiful sort of broken rib. Now, it's a super chunky pattern. The person that I'm making this for didn't like any of the super chunky wools at work. So what we ended up with is two of the marble chunky colours held together. So it is two chunkies held together. I'm not sure what number colourway this is, but it is just this. It's the James Brett marble chunky, and it's this beautiful variegated purple. It's acrylic. As far as acrylic goes, this is a beautiful yarn to work with. I've used it a lot of times, and it's one of the acrylic wools that I will really stand behind. It's very nice quality. It washes lovely, and the colour ranges are gorgeous. And shout out, the rep that we work with from James Brett is a gem, and we love him. I don't want to name him because he doesn't even know that I have this podcast, and I would hate to blast him on the internet and he has no idea what's coming. So, but we like him. So we're a fan of James Brett because they're nice to him too, and he says that they're a really nice company to work for. So, right. So my last project is, I've already mentioned a few times, my project for my Lazy Stash Buster cowl. Now, if you haven't already got involved in that, I highly recommend you get involved, because it's exactly as it sounds. It's the laziest cowl you can get involved with. All it requires, the only rules are that you use yarn from your stash that you bought previously to 2021. So nothing bought in 2021 counts. Anything bought in 2020 or before counts. That could be that you bought it the 31st of December in 2020. Fine, whatever. It's stash, it counts. You do not have to finish anything to enter. Whips are allowed. You do not have to finish anything to win. You can enter as many times as you want using the hashtag LazyStashBusterCal over on Instagram. I ask that you use capitals on your letters because it makes it easier for like reading software to understand what the hashtag says for those who need that software, and just makes their lives a little bit easier. We are all about accessibility here, and but if you don't, if you forget, that is fine. It does still show up on the same hashtag, so don't worry too much about it, but accessibility matters. The other rule is I ask that you follow me on Instagram so I can, you know, check you're with me and not just using a random hashtag. So I'm going to add some photos of some of the already entered projects. Here you go. Those projects are so gorgeous and I love them so much, and I really encourage anyone who is watching this who has a project, double dip if you want to double dip. If you're entering another cal with a project that would work for this, please enter this one as well. Why not? Get it on there. It's fine. Something I do want to mention, going back to what I was saying before, Ribbler has a new feature on their website where you can have interactive knit-alongs. So it's similar to, it works in a similar way to Ravelry if you are used to that. It has you can buy patterns on there, you can buy projects on there, there is a way to have a forum on there. And I was wondering if anyone would be interested in me looking at setting up maybe a group on there. I'm not sure how to do it, or even if I can do it yet. But would that be something, if I can, would that be something you are all interested in? Please let me know in the comments below. So before you all get bored of my ramblings, I will show you what I am knitting for my own knit-along. Obviously I won't win the prize because that would be a bit ridiculous, but you know, maybe it's all just a long con. It's not really, I promise. One of you will win, not me. I have finished my sleeve for my amazing Technicolor Dream sweater. I am using lots and lots of Stylecraft acrylic, basically. There are other things thrown in there, but like this one was from, I think, Tudor Rose. That was her double knit, a mystery club, that I couldn't quite find the right use for, but looks brilliant in here. There are varying weights. There is Aran, chunky, double knit, but when you sort of wear it, you don't really notice that too much, so it's fine. I have started the body, which is it's a really interesting construction. So you cast on a bunch of stitches, and then you attach it to the sleeve and carry it on from there. So I am really enjoying this process. Because I enjoy it so much, I know that a lot of my projects won't get love if I don't sort of restrain myself a little bit. It's jingling because of all my stitch markers, sorry. Look at all of them, sort of counting my increases there. I'm only letting myself work on it on Sundays and calling it my Scrappy Sunday project, just so I can give my other projects some love as well. There is absolutely no reason or obligation for you to follow that rule either. That rule as well is just my own personal system that I am following. So that's it for whips. That's all I've got. She says that like it's not anything. It's 4 sweaters. Why have I got 4 sweaters on my needles? I'm pretty sure if I went digging upstairs as well, there's in my my languished whips, there's probably quite a lot more in there as well. Oh, I dribbled. That is the problem with a big mug of tea. Sometimes it sort of attacks you, doesn't it? And you drown in tea. There are worse ways to go, it's fine. So let's move on to acquisitions. There's not too many this time, not for me at least, considering my lack of willpower recently. Let's jump into it. Alright, so we are on acquisitions. I kind of feel like I zoomed through a little bit. feeling kind of hyped and amped today, but the end tends to be where I blabble, so blabble? Babble. Language. This tends to be where I babble, so good luck, because I've been babbling already. So, we'll kick things off with a purchase I mentioned already in my last episode. It is I couldn't decide on colours, so you will have seen 2 episodes ago I bought some yarn to knit a little dog toy for my bestie, inspired by her doggo George the Beagle. He is gorgeous and he loves toast. Just a fun little fact for you there. If she allows me to, I'll insert a picture of him here in all his chunky glory. So, I purchased the colour I bought when it showed up in person, as is likely to happen sometimes with buying yarn online. It wasn't quite the right colour for his beagle spots, so I ordered 2 more colours because I couldn't decide which would be right. Neither are quite right, but they are better than the one I had before, because the one I had before in certain lights looked green, which definitely is not beagle coloured. These are the Sheepies Stone Washed Double Knit, I think. Sport weight, sorry. Not much in it. And it is yellow jasper and brown agate. So I think it'll probably be, because he sort of changes from a tan to a dark brown in places, so I think it may be a combination of the 2 of those that go into the toy. And that was from Wool Warehouse, if I haven't mentioned already. My next purchase is no surprise to many of you. I get every month, or at least I try to get, the Corner of Craft mystery stitch marker. I didn't have it with me to show you last episode, the February mystery one. So if you haven't seen it, if you are still waiting for it for whatever reason, or you just don't want to know, look away now. But this is the February mystery Corner of Craft stitch marker. Again, I won't go into what it is in case someone is listening but not watching, but look at how beautiful that is. It's gorgeous. It's a little bit bigger than usual. I was really surprised, but so pretty, and now I've shown it to you, I can actually finally use it. I think I need something to display all of my stitch markers from her, because currently they're just sort of sat in a bag in my notions pouch, and they are safe there, and they won't get damaged, but it's just, it'd be nice to look at it. I'm thinking maybe of looking into an earring holder, because she uses the earring clasps, so that might be something to look into. My last purchase, in a yarny regard, is Twink Knits. This is a new to me dyer. Her Etsy will be linked below. I was introduced to this dyer via Rachel, Craft Enabler. She has a podcast now. Finally, it will be linked below. I have already been informed she's going to film a 2nd episode, so there is more content on the way. I had been talking to her about how I need to stop purchasing yarn, and that I can't justify buying anything else now, and that I'm not looking for that reason. And then she very rudely sent me a link to this shop, and these are the things that inevitably got purchased after it. They are gorgeous. So this bright, beautiful neon speckled number on your left, or your right, who knows at this point. This one here is a sock weight 4-ply yarn, 80% merino wool and 20% nylon, 400 metres in the skein. The sort of grey one this one here is a double knit, and again an 80/20 base. I love them so much, and I think because I just don't have many socks for myself, I think they're just going to be socks. So yeah, some nice jazzy socks to come in the future. So that's it as far as woolly whips. I do want to mention two businesses. Now, these two businesses are dear friends of mine, but I highly recommend their product regardless of them being friends in the real world. You might have seen throughout the episode my beautiful earrings here. They are, let's take it out and show you closer. They are beautiful handmade polymer clay earrings with like a lavender design on them. Oh, I love them so much. They're so cute. And I've been wearing them all through the episode. They're not heavy. They're really comfortable to wear. I really like them. You will, again, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen these. And that is Fernweh Designs. Jenny, I really hope that I'm saying that right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. That is the little bag that comes with it to keep them safe, which I think is absolutely beautiful and a nice little touch. All the packaging was eco-friendly. I could not recommend her shop more. So please, again, she'll be linked below. Please go and give her some love. She is worth every ounce of it, I promise you. The other thing I would like to mention are if you haven't seen them already, my beautiful flowers in the background here, and they are from Makana Floristry, again on Etsy, will be linked below. I did get another bouquet of just these pink ones because I thought they were beautiful. She has a few options on there. I'm sure she will add things. She, again, is a friend of mine, and worth every ounce of love. Also, she is so talented, and this here I think is perfect proof of that. I have just popped them in. My plan was to put them in some milk bottles that I had saved specifically for her products, and the nozzle on the milk bottle was just a little bit too small, so I've put them for now in a little jar that some like pasta sauce came in or something. But we'll get something prettier eventually, but I wanted to show them off to you. So in terms of purchases, that's about it really. As I say, everything will be linked below. Shop update news. I am looking to introduce a few stitch markers and progress keepers to the shop, so that is something to look out to. I have some examples here to show you. These are my upcoming spell jar stitch markers, and they are, again, I mentioned in my last episode that I am like, it's not wicker, I'm not wicker, but like that is probably the closest term that most people will understand. And the only reason I say I'm not is because I really don't follow those rules, quote unquote, definitively, so I don't want to attach myself to something that I'm not willing to commit to, but I love it as I love the community, the Wicca community, and magic and spell work and divination and spirituality is something that I was raised in, and to believe wholeheartedly and have had experiences in. And these spell jars are something I use quite frequently, almost as a talisman. So I tend not to follow a recipe for them. I tend to figure out what it is that I need, and need almost a confidence boost in, or like a push towards, or to help me sort of manifest something. So be it self-love, or prosperity for my business, or whatever. I will use herbs and scents and crystals and things to that resemble that, and that and then I will put that in a jar with some sort of like positive energy, and like think about what I'm trying to manifest, and like put that energy into the jar. And then I didn't invent this, by the way. This is totally something that is common practice in that world, but for those of you that might not be part of that world, this is my explanation and how I use it. And it then becomes, you then sort of seal it with wax and keep that intention tight in there, and often you use a colour associated to what you are trying to achieve. So if it's calm, you might use a gentle blue colour, or so on and so forth. So they are something I use regularly anyway. So I wanted to bring that to you. So this has been made with a real positive intention. It has a rose quartz in there and an amethyst for sort of strength and love. So it's really purifying, and like it's a little piece of my love to you, basically, because I do really appreciate all of you that watch and shop with me. So it's a little piece of a thank you. They are being sold individually, or they will be when I put them up finally, on Lazy Sundays, and you will get a little list of ingredients in the jar. That will also obviously be in the description, so you know what you're purchasing beforehand. Just know that when you purchase it, so much love has gone into it, and protection, and like no hard feelings at all. It's entirely good intentions in there. So they will be coming to the shop. Again, you will receive a list of ingredients in them, and that will sort of explain what it's for and what those ingredients break down to and what they represent. I am also enjoying playing with resin. I purchased some eco-friendly resin. I did my research before I purchased, as I am wanting to do, and so I'm only playing with it now, and I have some things that will probably go into the shop sort of like lower price, because I'm playing with it, and I'm not, my skill isn't there yet. But this is one of the things that I've made. You can't really see, so I think I need to make it more defined, but it does say Capricorn on there, and it has got the sort of star you know, I can't find the words right now, but I'll take photos and I'll put that on my social media, and that just has some sort of gold leaf in there and some little crystals in there too. So that's all I have to share with you. In terms of life, not much has really been happening. I did go for my first vaccine. It does seem that things here in Cornwall are moving a little bit quicker than the rest of the country, but I think that we're just not as populated down here, so that is probably why. So I got my first vaccine. My dyslexia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia definitely got in the way, because I booked my appointment at 12:50. My dyscalculia brain read 10 to 12 and showed up an hour earlier than I was supposed to, so that was a bit of a faff. But we got it, we're out and we're fine. I did feel a little bit rubbish the day after, but in the sense of like, I was just tired, and I don't know if that was because we haven't been doing much, for obvious reasons, for lockdown reasons, and I was just like physically exhausted from that, like having to interact with a lot of people for the first time in a while. It could have been that. I was just very tired. It could literally be your body fighting off a virus, which is essentially what it is, I suppose. So, but nothing too bad. Obviously a little bit sore where they poke you, but that's to be expected. but now I'm fine and I'm 62% protected now, and I think it goes to 94. My numbers might be wrong, as previously mentioned. Other than that, I really don't have much to report. Just thank you again so much for watching. Please talk to me in the comments. I love your comments. Tell me what you're working on. Have you got your vaccine yet? Do you like to boogie? I don't know. Tell me whatever you want to tell me. It's fine. Please, if you want to, or if you have a project on the go, enter it into the Cal if you can. All are welcome. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It all helps to boost the video and get me out there a little bit more to a few more people, and we can have more people in this nice little community that we're building here. I do try and keep to a rough schedule, but there is no rhyme or reason to that really. There are no dates or times set to that. So do click the subscribe button and the little bell to know when I do post a video, and that's about it. That is all she wrote. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.